If you are easily offended, please leave and don't come back. The views, opinions, and statements from this podcast are by no one. I repeat, by no one. They are not real, and everything is completely made up. This is for entertainment purposes only. The people in this podcast are not doctors, lawyers, or health professionals. They barely graduated high school. It's not that serious. Enjoy the show and have a nice day. Welcome to another episode of Vernon's podcast, brought to you by your humble and gracious and insanely attractive host, Vernon Smith. Um, well, first, I'd like to start off with saying thank you to Braden Moore for his guest appearance on the last episode. And that was episode 3. If you haven't already, go check that out. We talked on issues in the Clean region. The Clean region is a place where I was raised. I'm indigenous, and so is he. And we just quickly touched based on the state of where the place is at um, in terms of LGBTQ and addiction and mental health. We actually didn't go too much on mental health, which is what I just recognized when I went back and watched it. So I'm gonna need to go further on that, and maybe I will here. But we touched based on those things, and as well as a little bit on his upbringing, and just among other things. It was a great show. I loved it. I'm gonna aim a lot towards that, like just kind of interview style of podcast. But I can also do it alone too, just like what I'm doing now. Either way, you guys are gonna get episodes. This is something that I'm going to be doing like from now on. Like I don't care what's happening. Okay, I don't when I start up work, and which is like in 2 weeks, I think. I'm still gonna do it, but it's just gonna be around. I'm gonna have to record kind of to a different schedule and around my work, because my work's still gonna be my primary. I guess no. My sobriety is first. Putting my sobriety first, and and then me, and then my family, and then my job, and then friends, and then this podcast. Okay, that's the order. Don't be mad at it. I'm sorry, just how it has to be. And the reason for that is because your sobriety, when you are in recovery, your sobriety has to be first above everything. I'm talking about even your parents, your siblings, your cousins, your best friend, your job, you. It has to be above you. When I say you, I mean like your wants and needs, your desires. Your sobriety has to be first. And the reason for that is because if you are not sober, then you can't do any of the other things. Your whole life's going to fall apart. Do you get what I'm saying? Like if you relapse, and then how are you supposed to be a person who's reliable and dependable for your family and friends or your job? So your sobriety has to go first, so that you are the best version of you, and you can bring the most to the table. You know, you're not helping anybody just using and being drunk. That's not, you're bringing more problems to the situation. Okay, so sobriety first, and that's what I'm gonna do, above all else. And speaking on that too, the reason why I haven't uploaded in, how long has it been? 3 days, I think. Since Wednesday, and it's Sunday now. It was because I woke up Thursday. We recorded the episode 3 on Wednesday, and I believe it was like Wednesday evening, and then it was just recorded in Calgary, Alberta, and at Braden's apartment. And I live in Edmonton. I drove there all the way to Calgary. Like I immediately, like I reached out to Braden. I think it was the night before, and asked him if he would like to do it, and he was completely down, no hesitation. It was insane. It was amazing. Thank you again, Braden, and also to Lydia for putting reminding me or putting that idea in my head. Like that was something that needed to happen. That conversation couldn't have happened with anybody else, because like Brady and I, there was that chemistry there from the beginning. I think if you guys saw like the video, you know what I mean? Like, and the things that he would say, I knew that nobody else was gonna say that, and because Braden has this level of I don't give a fuck kind of a thing. You know what I mean? Like he's not gonna hold back, and he was just going to be himself, and that's exactly what I wanted, and that I knew that I was gonna get that. So that's why I was so excited to get that to get the opportunity to like work with him. And so like that night, I think that was Tuesday night, I was like I was all like giddy excited and stuff because I knew it was gonna be great. And then I was able to get myself to sleep, and then I woke up the next morning, and then so he said that he was gonna get off work, and at like I think it was like 3:30, whatever. And then I was like, fuck, I was happy, like fuck, I was like, yes, this is happening. And then I gathered all my things. I probably woke up like around like 10 in the morning, and then woke up, brushed my teeth, I didn't shower. I woke up, brushed my teeth, drank a bunch of water, took my meds, went to the gym, and then just made a quick. Oh, I had breakfast, and then I ran to like not ran. I drove to the stores to get things that I had needed, and then that's when I finally like showered and got ready and shit. And then I jumped in my car and drove straight to Calgary, and went to go see Braden. And then so yeah, but we shot it. It was great. And then after that, I went to go eat, and then I took off back to Edmonton. And then after we shot it, I posted at least the podcast, the audio version, immediately, pretty much. Didn't do any editing really, because I try to avoid editing anything. And the only time I would like edit is if I feel like the content is going to be harmful to people or anyone, you know what I mean, especially to my guests, because I don't want to do that. But thankfully with Braden, everything was like, there was like no lines I couldn't cross. There was no like boundaries where I wasn't able to jump over. There was no topics that were off limits. And it's just, I love that. And it's just the level of authenticity is just insane and amazing. And yeah, Braden's welcome back any fucking time he wants. And so I posted it, got amazing feedback. Thank all of you. Like seriously, all the support is insane. Like a lot of you were like reposting it and liking it and commenting on it and saying how like you couldn't wait to hear it and things like on social media. It's like it just makes me feel so like warm that people are actually taking in and listening to just this crazy little podcast. You know what I mean? So thank you so much. It means so much to me. You have no idea. And so going back to that, after I posted it and then went to go eat, and I drove back to Edmonton, got back to Edmonton, I was exhausted. I was going to go start editing the videos I can post on YouTube for that episode 3, but then I realized I was like beat, and then I just went to sleep. And I woke up Thursday morning, and then I didn't even think, like literally I just got up, brushed my teeth, drank water, and then I just immediately went to start editing the video so I can post it. Because in my head I saw the all of the traction and the commotion it was making online. So I was like, okay, I gotta go get them the video right now, like right now while it's hot. And then I need to get it online now so that they can go see it. And then that's what I did, and then I sent it out. And that video, it was it was okay. It's not as good as I would like it, and the reason for it, it's not as good as I would have wanted it was because it was rushed. I rushed it. I rushed it to get it out to you guys, you know? And I regret doing that now looking back at it because I could have done a much better job. Like I think like on the second half of the video, if you look at it, the audio is not matching up with the video. Like our mouths are like kind of a little bit off. Like it's just it doesn't line up with the video and I hate it. It bugs me. I don't know if you guys would have noticed that, but me, somebody who's like paying close attention to the video and the editing and stuff, I catch it. I caught it and it just annoys the hell out of me. But and that wouldn't have happened if I didn't rush, you know? But I'm not going to do that anymore. And the reason why I'm bringing this all up too, about me rushing things to get out and stuff, because I was like rushing to get content out to you guys because I wanted to feed my audience, you know? Because, like, it's because I'm looking at it at my perspective and how I would want it because like when I like something like a song, like say I like an artist drops a single, I love it, and then I can't wait for the album, so I keep on checking for it. When a movie trailer drops on YouTube and I go watch the trailer and I love it and I can't wait for the movie, you know what I mean? And then and then same with my podcast, the podcasts that I listen to. I can't wait for the next episode. Like when's the next episode? Why aren't they posting it? I thought that and I was like, oh, I have to feed them right away. So I was rushing it and then that video didn't turn out to the quality that I would like it to be. But that's fine. I'm learning as I go, like I said, and I would just continue to just try my best, and that's all I could do. And that goes with content too. Like you guys, this is okay. This is a little harder than I thought, but then I'll just again do my best. Anyway, after I had posted that video, and then and then my mind immediately went, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? What's the next thing? Episode 4. What am I going to do? Who's going to be on it? What's the topic going to be? Where am I going to shoot it? I need another camera for more angles. I need better audio. I need, you know what I mean? My mind was going everywhere. Like, what was the next thing? Next thing. And then I remembered that I'm not putting my sobriety first by being like that and doing that. Like I took a step back and I realized what I was doing and that my addiction that's the addiction brain, right? Because like once you get that rush of a dopamine or like kind of satisfaction or fulfillment, like she's like your brain immediately kind of like it's like so like hyper and like excited. It just wants more and more and more, and that's that addiction, you know, because like that's the addiction habit. It's just like when you would take a shot and then you want another one because the first one felt great, or if you take a line and then the first one was so great and you want another one like right after. It's that same thing kind of, you know. And I recognized that, and then I took a step back and I was like, this is not how it's supposed to be. Like this was supposed to be just me like having fun and just kind of doing this on the side. And instead of it being that, it was turning into a whole different thing. Like the podcast was kind of like turning into an addiction for me. You know what I mean? Like I dropped 3 episodes in 4 days. That's insane. Like Sunday dropped one, Monday dropped one, Wednesday dropped one, and I even drove all the way to damn Calgary and back just for that one episode too. And I'm putting in all this work to edit and film, and I'm buying all like the equipment, spend a bunch of money. Like I was like throwing myself into it completely and forgetting about like, I mean, like, of course I was still like, taking care of me for the most part, but I'm gonna be honest, in the time, like I haven't, like I probably, and within that whole couple of days, I probably wrote in my journal only twice because I was like, I made only 2 journal entries. One yesterday, and then like I think on like Tuesday or Monday or whatever. And the reason for that was because I was so focused on the podcast, and in my mind I was like, I don't have time to write it. But even though it only takes like 10 minutes, but still, and that was my mindset. And also too, because I wanted to save. I was afraid that if I wrote it down in my journal, that was content for that podcast, right? But I was like, no, like that's stupid. You know what I mean? Because like my sobriety has to come first, and that's what I'm gonna do now. So I recognized that was happening on Thursday after I had posted the video, and that's why I wasn't really active online on those 2 days, for Thursday and Friday, because like I was beat and I recognized it, so I took a step back, and then I didn't I like tried my best not to think of the podcast and just kind of did other things. Went back into my journal and stuff, and just kind of just really took it back and actually got a good night's sleep, and just didn't let it kind of get too, I guess, too big for me to kind of handle, like it was just, yeah, no, this is supposed to be for fun, and that's what it's going to be. And speaking on that too as well, with this too, I don't feel like filming for like visuals, so there won't be any. This is just going to be strictly audio, which is what I like too. Like I'm just like sitting here, I don't have to worry about no damn camera and stuff, and I didn't have to like go and get cute or anything. So yeah, so okay, now happy Father's Day. Thank you all for all the support. Thank you, Braden, for coming. Thank God for another day, and for the great day I had yesterday. I went for a walk, a 3-hour walk. If you haven't seen my post on Facebook or Instagram, you don't need to, because I'll tell you what happened now. This is, again, remember, because I said that I was like I was taking this back, so I wanted to go and kind of just get relaxed and get some peace of mind. And the way I normally do that is by going for walks. I love going for walks. It's time, like I'm not on my phone. The only time I like touch my phone is when I'm checking what time it is, or if I get a text or something, but other than that, I don't fuck with my phone when I'm going for a walk. And then I was walking about like 15 minutes in, and then it started to rain. I immediately I was annoyed, and then I turned around, and then I was gonna go home because I didn't want to get wet. And then I just took probably like a couple steps, and then I stopped and thought again. I was like, wait, it's just water, and am I gonna let this little drizzle rain on my day and fuck it up for me? No, this I'm not letting this ruin this for me. I'm going to enjoy my walk, and I'm going to enjoy myself, and I'm going to enjoy my day. So I turned around and then continued on with my walk. And then just by me doing that, like I remember it just felt like this sudden rush of like excitement or enjoyment, for that moment, because my mind and my old habits, I fought against it, and then I took another route, because that was the old me. The old me would be annoying. Oh, I don't want to get my clothes wet. The water's gonna like wash off the gel on my hair or whatever it is. My clothes are gonna get wrinkled, and it's probably gonna be lots of bugs. I just like, that's the old me. And then that's why I turned around at first, but then I caught that, recognized it, and I said, no, I'm going to continue on with my walk. So then I turned around and continued on. And I think because of doing that, it just made me so much more like happy and aware of my mind, like my habits and stuff. And then when I just continued to walk, and I walked for 3 hours, took a bunch of photos and I think a few videos. It was amazing. And on Facebook too as well. I'm posting on Facebook too. But then on Facebook, I'm not giving Facebook the full episode. I'm just gonna give Facebook like clips of the entire episode, like just like kind of like some parts of it. But the full visual episodes will be posted only on YouTube, and then clips will get posted on TikTok and Facebook, and then the audio would be on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Um, I and then like Instagram and Snapchat would just be strictly like promotional posts, just to let people know that it's up. And yeah, so if um, yeah, so yeah, by me when I went for that walk, and then um, it was great. You know what I mean? Like ah, like I was like I felt so like I felt like I accomplished something because I went against myself, my old patterns. So that was great. And so I wanted to go on when I was in at the rehab center. Um, we we have this assignment. It's called 90 days, and what you do there is just basically you talk about are you yeah, you just basically kind of talk about your last 90 days before going to rehab, and it could be anything and anything that happened within the time, the 90 days time. And I want to share what I had wrote here with you. And it's just like basically point form. um so I was just it's not even that deep. It's just me drinking heavily and doing a lot of coke, and that resulted in me not being able to return back to work. That's when my life was so unmanageable. I couldn't deal with it. I was always able to do both. You know what I mean? Like be a successful alcoholic and addict, and then I was still able to get my ass to work every time. But then this time it was different. This time it completely took a hold on me. It put me in a chokehold. I was like fucked. Like I was high and drunk from the moment I woke up until, and then I would be awake for 4 or 5 days, and then I would go sleep, and then go sleep for like a whole day, like 24 hours, and then I'd wake up and then continue that on over and over again. And then I was not able to stop this time. Like it was different. It was more different than any other time. I don't know what the hell it was. It was just crazy. So I called my boss. I'm not called my boss. I emailed my boss and the HR department and stuff, and I told them what was happening. And thankfully, they were so supportive, and got me help. And I was just, I remember being so like embarrassed and ashamed and afraid of the outcome. Like I didn't know what they would do. I thought that maybe they might be like, "Oh, don't need this fucking junkie alcoholic. Let's get rid of him." Bye, But no, like they were so understanding and so like kind about it. And then they just they just helped me and supported me and found help for me. It was great. I'm like so thankful for that. And so then yeah, I couldn't go to work. And then I continued to still drink and do drugs. And then and that was I don't know what it was. I think it was just insane. I sobered up for like 2 days, and then I was going through so much withdrawals, and it was so sick. I was puking for 2 days straight. Didn't sleep for those 2 days, but sober though. I wasn't drinking, or I wasn't doing any drugs. And then I couldn't. My body was so used to the amount of alcohol and coke, so my body was just like, what the hell is this? Why are you sober? Why are you sober? So like, so I got really, really sick. I couldn't keep anything down, not even water. And then I bought beer because I knew that that's what my body wanted, right? But so I decided to wean myself off, whatever, like slowly. So I was drinking beers, just drinking beers, and I felt better, but I still couldn't sleep or anything. And then something happened at work. I guess like the company was like there was like conversation of it. I don't know, whatever. Just something happened, something big. And I, for some reason, my my head and now I know what it is. It was because like I was doing so much coke, so I was so paranoid all the time. I thought that everybody was out to get me. I thought that the world was against me. I thought that and because of I was in that state of mind, I immediately thought, oh my god, because I'm on leave from work right now, and it's so easy for them to get rid of me. They're gonna get rid of me. This is that move they're making, that they're this is that play, and then I'm lost my job, I'm done, right? And it wasn't even it's so stupid. It wasn't even that at all. Nobody said anything to me. Nobody indicated or dropped any hints that I was being let go or anything. That was just me, my coke brain. It was and then so I of course I freaked out, freaked out. And then I was like, okay, since I'm getting fired, who cares then? And so then I ordered a big like a 60 of vodka, a 60 pounder, which is like the biggest bottle you can buy. I think, I don't know. I think it's like a equivalent to like 5 Mickeys or something. And called my dealer up, bought like a bunch of coke. I think it was like $400 worth. And then I just line after line after line, um, cup out of straight vodka out of straight vodka cups. It just kept on going. I kept on drinking, and I I wasn't on a mission to harm myself. Like never. I've never wanted to harm myself ever. But I also at that moment, in time, I didn't care what happened to me. I wasn't trying to harm myself, but I didn't. If it had happened, if something had happened, I didn't care because um for like the past 6 years, I would say like my job has been um like the main focus of my life. You know what I mean? Like I dedicated myself to it, and I worked my ass off for it, and I put everything I had into it. And the thought of it being taken away from me, it really destroyed me. Like it took me apart. So I didn't care, and so I just again line after line after line after line, and like increments, like probably like every 10 minutes, just and the lines I would take are like fat ones, and um and and then vodka. I was chugging it, and then I guess my body couldn't handle it. My body, I went into psychosis. Psychosis is um I'm gonna just I'll search up the definition of it right now. But for me, it was like hallucinations and um I think it's called psychosis. Okay, here's the definition on Google. What is psychosis? Psychosis refers to a collection of symptoms that affect the brain, where there has been some loss of contact with reality. During an episode of psychosis, a person's thoughts and perceptions are disrupted and they may have difficulty recognizing what is real and what is not. That's exactly what happened to me. You see, like, remember when I said like I thought that I was getting fired and stuff, that nobody said anything to me. There was no facts, there was no truth to it at all. That was just me making that whole thing up in my head. And also too, like when I took all that coke and took all that alcohol, and the result to me thinking that I was getting fired, I took even more of it. So then I went even deeper into the psychosis. I was hearing voices. I was hallucinating. I was seeing people who weren't really there. I and then it resulted in me I was like freaking out, and then I went down to the lobby area in my apartment building, and I just sat there in a chair just freaking out, kind of just sitting there. And then I think I had called cops or somebody, I don't know, or I think I wanted to go to the hospital or something, and then cops came, picked me up. I don't really remember. And then they put me in a drunk tank. Motherfuckers put me in a drunk tank, and when I asked them to bring me to the hospital, they brought me to the drunk tank. And anyways, and then I was in that drunk tank, and I totally forgot that I went to when I woke up in the drunk tank, and then it was so fucked up. Like was like it was like I lived 5 lives in there. Like it was insane. Like when I say that, I mean like I was dreaming. And it was completely like real in my head. like I was dreaming that my whole like family, like my whole bloodline had died in a result of my addiction because um I was no longer like able to help anybody or be there for anybody, and things just fell apart, and then it destroyed my family because of me being an addict. And it is just stupid. Like in that thing too, I got like fucking 9 women pregnant all within 1 year, and my sister Holly was in there too, and then she was like yelling at me in my hallucinations. She was just like, "Why the hell did you do that? You're ever crazy." She was like, "And two of those girls are not even cute. They're ever ugly. Why the hell you got them pregnant?" I was just, oh my god, it was so crazy. And we all ended up dying, and then Holly and I were like trapped together in the cell, and that's when she was yelling at me, and she was telling me everything was my fault because of my drug use and all these things. And then it was so fucked up. And then that was just one of the hallucinations. Um uh and another one too, like, was I was in the hospital, and then there was this man who I didn't know who he was. He was like across from me, and he made a whole disc tape, like a disc, not disc tape, but like a whole disc song for me and my whole family. And he was just sitting there rapping. He was just like, just basically tearing us apart, like just exposing every little like thing, you know what I mean? Like he was saying everything that you could possibly say to me or my family that would hurt our feelings and stuff. He was saying it right there openly. And I remember just like what the hell, like. And the crazy part was that was happening in real time when I was sitting. Oh, okay, I'm going ahead. I'll go back to that one. Okay, so anyway, I was in the drunk tank, and then I was hallucinating and stuff, and then so I guess like 24 hours had passed, and then they opened the doors, and then they just do all their regular reality checks, asking for my name, my address, my phone number, where I'm at, and all these things. And then all of that, I thought that I was dead. You know what I mean? I thought that I was trapped in some reality and that I couldn't come back ever. Like I thought my soul was gone, because that's what the psychosis did to me. And then once the car asked me all these questions, and all the memories started coming back to my head, and I guess I answered everything correctly. So then that kind of indicated to them that I was sober enough, and then, or you know what I mean, so I wouldn't be any kind of like a threat to anybody, because when you're at that level of psychosis, nothing's real to you. Like nothing was real to me. I thought that I was like completely dead already. I thought that I was just a spirit or something. You know what I mean? So that's what it did to me. And so anyway, they take me to the hospital. And when I was sitting in the hospital, that's when that happened. When I was talking about earlier about that guy making that diss track and stuff, and just tearing me and my family apart. And I remember looking around, and it's just like, what the fuck? Nobody's gonna do anything about this. And then I like got up, and then it was so weird. People were looking at me like I was crazy and stuff. And then I guess like that lady who works out front, she recognized what was happening, and then she went to the security guard and told him to bring me to the back, like a bed. She went to go get me a bed so I can lay down, and then she told him that I was hallucinating, and they knew what was going on, I guess, because maybe they dealt with that before, but this was all like completely new to me. I was like freaking out, whatever. And then so they take me to the back. They found me a bed, and then immediately put me like they gave me like something to kind of for the anxiety and stuff to calm me down. Put me on IVs, and then I was in the hospital for about 5 days, just IVs day and night while I was sleeping. And they're like just kind of, I was completely depleted of my like vitamins and nutrients. There and also I was so like dehydrated, and my body was in bad shape, because like I was like I said, I was using from the time I woke up till I went to sleep. So I didn't do anything. I was completely like bedridden, just drunk and high, just laying in bed, just getting drunk and high for like a long time, for like weeks and weeks and weeks. So because of me doing that, I wasn't using my muscles, because all I was doing was lying down. So my muscles were like depleting. Like I was like losing a lot of weight really quickly. Wasn't eating, wasn't drinking water, and and so I was in bad shape. Like my liver, my kidneys, um, what there were, and like my bones and stuff too was like weakened too, and so that's why they kept me there for 5 days because they wanted to make sure that I was good enough to leave and at a good like state of mind too as well. And they had like fucking the Avenger, the the medical Avengers come in, evaluate me, and just take care of me. It was insane. Like they were amazing. Like they treated me like so great. Like they was like so much care and stuff. And this was at the University of Alberta Hospital. So and like they had like a psychiatrist come and evaluate me. Just a bunch of like medical doctors and just a bunch of people like just kind of like taking care of me and stuff. They wanted to make sure I was good and okay, and wanted to know what was going on and stuff. And then I was completely honest with them. You know, I told them everything and everything, and anything and everything. And so they were like kind of, I guess, um, after I had told them everything that's going on, they thankfully the doctor that was dealing with me the most, he was able to kind of like write a note for me and stuff and give me referrals and things. And then I had left after the 5th day, contacted Burke, told him what happened. And then I stayed sober from that point on. And then I finally got like and then I think I was sober for like a month. Yeah. And I started using Coke again, because I was like, so even though I was sober, I was like so like I was like a dry drunk. I was always grumpy and stuff. And a dry drunk is somebody who's not in recovery but they're sober, if that makes any sense. Like they are not drinking or using any drugs, but they're not in recovery. And when I say when you're not in recovery, that means you're not doing the work. You're not going to AA meetings. You're not like working on yourself. Like you're not going to the gym. You're not reading the books. You're not doing the step work and stuff like that. And when you don't do that, you turn into a dry drunk. And the reason why you turn into a dry drunk is because you're not doing the work. You're not doing the step work. And the step work, it teaches you how to manage your thoughts in your mind. And it teaches you how to deal with, any kind of inconveniences that happen in your life that you're unhappy with. It would teach you how to kind of deal with those things. And when you don't deal with them, you get agitated quickly, annoyed, and you're grumpy all the fucking time because all you can think about is that drink that you can't have or that drug you can't have. So that's why you turn into a dry drunk, and there's a lot of them out there, you know what I mean? And the reason why they're like that, you might think that people who are like using are like drinking and then you look, because I know that because I used to be like this too. I'm just like, why would I want to be sober and be grumpy like them? Because they're all like, do you know what I mean? There's like so much people who are like sobered up and they're always like grumpy. It's like fucking smile, you know what I mean? Or laugh. Like, and the reason why they're grumpy is because they're dry drunks. Is because they're not doing the work. They're not praying, meditating, journaling. They're not going to the gym. They're not changing. You know what I mean? They're not doing the mind, like the work. They're not teaching themselves how to deal with their life as a sober person, because the reason why they're always angry is because they're mad that they can't drink or use. You know what I mean? So don't be that. Do the work. And so that's what I was for that month. And then so I was like, okay, so I convinced myself that alcohol was the problem, because when I thought like, okay, if I'm not drinking but I just do Coke, then that means I won't be hangover, and that means that I will like always have energy. Hint, because the Coke, right? And then so that's what I did, and for like a good probably for like a good 2 weeks, I was just only doing Coke, and then I was like I got a call from like work. They told me they gave me kind of like a date of when I'm going to go to rehab, and I was like, oh, that's like 3 weeks away or 2.5 weeks, whatever it was. I was like, okay. So since I'm going, everything's all set in stone now. I'm going, so and then that rehab's going to fix me anyways. So I picked up the bottle, and then because the Coke tea wasn't even doing it for me anymore. Like I wanted to drink too, because that was my DOC, honestly. Like the mixture of the Coke and alcohol, which is both of them as like on their own is terrible for your body and your liver, but both of them together, it makes this kind of chemical in your liver that's deadly. It's really dangerous. But I didn't. When you're an addict, you don't care. You know what I mean? So anyway, I was doing that, and then up until so coke and alcohol again, it went back to my old pattern right away. From the moment I woke up, I went to sleep, and I did that up until I was taking off, till a day came that I had to go to rehab, or the night before, and that's when my flight was to Vancouver. I was supposed to check into the rehab on Monday, and then I had planned weeks ahead, or a week or two ahead, to fly to Vancouver on Sunday night, and I was going to spend the night there, and then I was going to go to Bowen Island, where it's at, the next morning. But Sunday came, and I said, no, I'm too fucked up. I can't go because I couldn't. My apartment was a mess. My apartment was a mess. I didn't pack. I wasn't ready at all. I was still drunk, still high, whatever. And then, so I said, no, I'm not going. And I rescheduled it to Monday. And then Monday came. Same thing, fucked up. Apartment's a mess. Never packed. And then I rescheduled it to Tuesday. And then the recovery place, they were like, you have to go there. Otherwise, you can't. Otherwise, you're not going to do this, right? And the reason for that too is because like they you know what I mean, like they have a lot of clients. They have a huge waiting list. The place is really, it's like popular and stuff, so they can't just have like an empty bed and just me not going, so and then I realized that too, and then I realized how much was riding on me to get there. Like my life was, my job, my sobriety, like my life, so I was just, even though I was still fucked up, you know what I mean, I woke up Tuesday morning, and my flight was at like 6 in the morning, I think. So I woke up at 4. I probably got like only 2 hours of sleep or something like that, and then woke up. I was still like so fucking tired. I threw whatever I could into my suitcase, and like I didn't even like I didn't even take that much clothes or anything. I just took what I could, whatever I could remember at that moment. And then I jumped in the shower very quickly. And then I was about to run out. And then I was like, so beat. And I was still like, it was like super hangover and stuff. And I had no energy. And then I saw like I had a little bit left, the Coke left, and the 2 lines left. And I just took the both of them. And I was like, okay, let's go do this. And then that woke me up, and I just grabbed all my shit and I took off to the airport, and got to the airport, and then I was drinking at the airport too. Had a couple drinks there because I was like my withdrawals were coming again, so I just took some shots and stuff, and then I waited at the airport, took off to Vancouver, immediately got to once I landed at the airport in Vancouver, I immediately went straight to the rehab center. And then once I got there, I was like excited. I was like, finally, I fucking made it. I can't believe I made it. And then I wasn't afraid. I was just kind of a little like anxious, and I had a little bit of anxiety because you know what to expect. But in my head, I was like, I'm ready for this. I know I have to do this. Let's go, And then, so spend 28 days there. It was insane. It was amazing. I love it. Changed my life. It's just, if you are thinking about going to rehab, or if you feel like you might need to go, then just go. Just go. If you have the opportunity, if you are lucky enough to have the opportunity to go, just go. It's going to change a lot of things for you. It's not just about putting the bottle down. It's about you learning how to be better and being kind and more generous and more having empathy, and just learning how to like kind of teach your mind to be happy and more feeling more fulfilled and satisfied, you know? Cuz like it's like the small things, you know, like before like I'll walk. I used to think like fuck going for a walk. It's dirty, windy outside, it's hot. I can get sweaty. But I don't even like walking. I used to like, and then or going to gym. I used to be like, fuck going to the gym. I'm cute anyway. I don't need to go to the gym. Fuck the gym. And then I would rather go smoke cigarette and drink vodka and do lines of coke instead. But and the reason why it's like that, it's because that's that shit. That's that addictive brain, right? It tricks your mind into thinking that that's all you want and that you don't want nothing else. Nothing else is going to satisfy you, and that's what that was. But then, so now my eyes are open and I love going for walks. Like it's just insane. Like I have all that time to think about me and what I'm doing and where I'm at and how I feel. Think about like just stuff that actually matters, and also at the same time you're getting exercise too, so it's good. And it's just the small things like having a good cup of iced coffee. Ah, ha, 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 ha. You know what I mean? Or like iced tea, the ice green tea, oh, with like honey in it and cream, heavy cream. Holy shit! Like that's, or even like if I don't want that, I don't like. I still have like pop. Right now, I have like a Coke Zero beside me. Oh, wait, speaking of it, like that bubbly flavor is just, oh, I love it. So like just like small little things like that, like having a can of pop or having iced coffee, iced tea. It's just so it makes me feel so like happy and satisfied because like it's just like small little things, you know what I mean? Like being able to go to the movies or going for a drive or going to the mall or um just kind of sitting here and not being hangover or not like having like being like so like agitated or kind of hyper, like where's like when's my next high, when's my next high, well, how am I going to get it, like, or where am I, when am I going to get it and stuff, or like when's my next shot and stuff. Like none of that thing crosses my mind anymore, and I'm so fucking thankful. Like you guys, this is, I never, the mindset I'm at now, right at this moment, it's, I've never felt like this in my whole life, and I'm so like, oh, I'm so like thankful and happy. And all I wanted, the reason why I'm doing this podcast too is because like I want to share my experience so that maybe it could help you or maybe help somebody you care about, you know, so that you can get to that mindset too, or they can get to that mindset too. And even if you're not an addict or even if you're not in recovery, it can just help you like kind of find gratitude and more like the, I guess find happiness in like the small things in life, you know? Like it's just great. It's just great. It's all great teachings. And like when I was at the that treatment center, we do this thing where when a person's leaving, everybody in the group, so there's like 20 people, whatever, um, we go into like a circle kind of a thing, and then everybody has to have words for that person, like whatever they think of that person. And this is a couple of the words that they got for me when I was leaving. That was impressive person, funny, kind, very intelligent, fearless, confident, dedicated, motivated, and kind, caring, thoughtful, wonderful wizard. That was funny. Kettle corn king. The reason why you say this is because I was eating popcorn. And wise, friendly, you're a gem, resilient, changed man, alcoholic Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins is that life coach, whatever speaker. And the reason why this person said that his name's Brian is because I guess like I always kind of, whenever like we have like, whenever I had like the opportunity to kind of like speak to the group about like what had happened to me that day that I felt like helped me, and the reason why I wanted to tell them too is because maybe it might help them. So I've always was like giving like these little like speeches and stuff. So that's why he's called me the alcoholic Tony Robbins. Anyway, so unwelcoming, quiet but powerful, that came from Sebastian. Sebastian was, he said, when he said this, and he said that, and this really like resonated with me, and really, it just filled me with such like I just felt like so warm when he was talking. He said that you just feel it when I'm around. He said that you when I walk in a room, he said that it changes the energy completely. Like, you know what I mean? Something like that. Somewhere in that lines, he said that you could just feel it when I'm like in the room and stuff. Yeah, I thought that was like, holy shit, like that's insane. And so his words for me were welcoming and quiet but powerful. And another person said transformed, so smart and kind. Another person said chipper polar bear. That guy, he said that he was my roommate. The reason why he said that was because I always liked the room to be cold. Like I would turn the temperature all the way down. And the reason why I said, I don't know why, that this is just how I feel comfortable. So I like the room cold, but with a big blanket on me, like, you know what I mean, to keep me warm. But I like it cold though. I don't know, probably like a northern thing. And another person said meditation master and morphine yogi, uh, baby faced, charming, yoga buddy, kind soul, good buddy, positive energy, calm and commotion or something like that. I don't know what that means. Calming commotion, I guess he means. And then humble, kind hearted man from the north. Yeah, so those are words that they had for me, and I would have never ever guessed that I was those things, you know, because I had like I'm my biggest critic, and I constantly like would criticize myself, and so when you're at that mindset, when you're like that, you don't think about the good things about you. So hear all those like wonderful things that they had said to me and about me. So it really like, at first I didn't really take it in because I was just like, I don't know if I've always, it's always been like that for me. Like whenever people give me like compliments and stuff, I don't really take it in because my mind goes like it goes into kind of like a denial, like, oh, like you don't mean that. You know what I mean? You don't mean that. That's not true. And I hate that about me. And then I'm like not, I'm trying my best not to do that anymore, be like that. So now but yeah, I was like, now I'm just like so happy and grateful for that. Like those words, it was just insane. Those people are great. And I have like their numbers and emails, and I already reached out, but I think a lot of them are still at the rehab. Or maybe they're busy with their lives, because to come out of rehab, you have to kind of rebuild your whole shit. So it's a lot of work. So they don't probably don't. I'll probably reach out like later or whatever. Oh yeah, and then there was this other project. It was called Creative. It's where you just kind of have a creative project. You can either write a board, like kind of like a with any kind of designs on it, where there can be whatever you want, but it has to be based around addiction. Or you could write like some people performed like actual performances, like they wrote a rap song and then they rapped it in front of all of us. Some people wrote songs and then they sung it in front of all of us. Some people created or kind of made their own choro, whatever, no, like dancing, like they danced in front of us. It was like a whole performance and stuff. It was insane. Some people wrote letters to their addiction. Some people wrote short stories. Some people wrote poems. So it was just basically whatever kind of creative project that was based on addiction that you would want to present to all of us. That's what you would do. And I did. I can't sing, even though I used to think I used to sing. Like I used to sing all the time when I was like drunk and stuff. And then I recorded myself one day, and it was, oh my god, I was so embarrassed because I would sing all the time to like people, and then I fucking sounded like that, and nobody told me I sounded like that. Everybody was just kind of just letting me go ahead and belt out those fucking notes and shit, and I just sounded like, That's no, that's not cool. Anyway, he yeah, you see, like now, like you see, like see, because of the mindset I'm at now, I can laugh at all this shit. You know what I mean? Before, like I remember when I used to think back on my life and in my past, it used to just upset me. Things that I had did or people like just like stuff in my life. I used to still upset me even years after, and then in the and now I just when I think back, I just laugh. It's funny, you know what I mean? Because like those things made who I am today, and I learned from all of those things, and I welcome challenges now. Where before I used to it used to annoy me, but I always still was up for a fight, like up for a challenge. But I would be agitated, be annoyed that I had to deal with it. But now I'm like, okay, okay, so this let's go, let's do this. We can do this. I can do this. Like it's not that serious. You know what I mean? So and and things don't get to me like that much anymore. I mean, like, of course, I still have like those thoughts of like, oh, that's annoying, and I don't like this. I don't like this happening. But what am I? What can I do about it? Nothing. Okay, then move forward. Or if I can do something, like, which, okay, you can always do something. I guess, like, you can just, you know, go find something that makes you happy or calm. Just go do it. Except don't use or do or take shots or anything like that. Okay. So, oh yeah, and, with that too, like when I said something that makes you happy, it can be anything. It can be like pop, ice cream, and I know that people might be like, "Oh, well, then why are you? You weren't supposed to be eating bad food or drinking pop because that's bad for you because you are you're in recovery or you're sober. You're supposed to be doing only things that are good for you." Yes, that's right, but at least that pop isn't alcohol, okay? At least that ice cream, that tub of ice cream isn't drugs, you know? Like sometimes it's okay to treat yourself, you know? It's not like you're gonna fucking just go crazy and stuff. Like you have to be, um, just be, um, don't be so hard on yourself. It's okay. Eat that pizza, eat that fucking fried chicken, you know? Even smoke that cigarette. At least the cigarette isn't a pipe with crack in it. You know what I mean? Like, just calm down. Everybody has their own journey, and everybody is going to quit things at their time when they are ready, you know? Like, I still smoke cigarettes, I still drink pop, I still eat junk foods from time to time, but I also eat like salads and fruits and vegetables. And the pop I'm drinking is Pepsi Zero, so no sugar. And as long as you put the effort into making better choices than what your old habits or your old choices were, then that's good. That's a step forward. Be good to yourself. Be thankful that you're making better choices instead of being like, oh, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. No, that's at that moment, that's good what you're doing. Okay, so back to this creative thing, and the creative that I had chosen was a letter to my addiction, and I want to share it with you guys. Here it goes. You came to me in the form of a loving friend, a game you know all too well. A demon, an intelligent, conniving, cold hearted demon. Of course, at the time, I didn't know what I was dealing with. I was an amateur ball player and you were LeBron. I didn't stand a chance. You stole the ball and scored an easy 3-pointer. You controlled me from that moment on. You robbed me of my high school experience, of my 20s, and you're not taking my 30s from me. I was weak and vulnerable, but you already knew that. Like a coward preying on the helpless. No matter how hard you tried, you couldn't break me completely. You may have taken my money and most of my youth. You're not taking my future away from me. I've been given another chance at life, a great blessing from God. This time I won't squander it. That boy you once met, that scared little boy you took control over, he's grown now. He has the power and resources to go to battle with you now, to go to war with you now. I can still feel you lurking, slithering around the forest outside my castle walls, plotting, just waiting for the perfect time to strike. My defenses are up and the gates are down. My men are out on the field with their swords and spears. My archers are second to none, and they have their arrows to the sky, just wishing you'd show your ugly face again. You see, I was angry at you for a long time, angry at the world and angry at myself. Thank you for the lessons and show me what I don't want to be. I no longer need you. I can do great on my own. I love the man I'm turning into, a wise man, an old soul who won't take any shit from anyone. You helped me burn bridges and light my house on fire. You helped me to create the perfect storm. Now the roof has collapsed and rain came pouring in. I'm drowning, but I can finally breathe again. The flood put out the fire and washed away every trace of you. I think I'm finally clean. Thank you for tuning into another episode of Vernon's podcast. God, protect us from everything that has not been sent from you. Thank you.